role-based access control model, they don't have delegation concept. So approach was, okay, we have to use role-based access control, but you have to propose the additional component for the role-based access control so that you can allow users to delegate their privilege, so-called role-based delegation. Okay. Then you may have some question. Why do we have to use role-based access control? What is role-based access control? Maybe some of you already knew about this role-based access control. This is just main points in role-based access control. Role-based access control, you are using role when you have to decide access control decision. When you have to make an access control decision, you have to use role instead of identity or security clearance. So role means organization-specific access control policy, or organization-specific requirements or job function or job description, etc. And according to NIST's report, they said if your organization use role access control for access control, then through 2006, you can save $671 million. So they said this role access control can really help us support development and adoption of new complex network security systems with significant contributions. And their definition of significant contribution is dollar amount, not number of papers, so it's different. And also, this role access control has become widely accepted as proven technology, specifically for the organization that use the role as access control decision. They are using role access control for their solution. And these days, various operating systems and database systems, they're using role. For example, Oracle, they're using the notion of role. So long history. And also the Windows, Microsoft Windows, when they announced Windows NT, we were invited to their Windows NT announcement ceremony. And then main reason for invitation was they are using role. But when I look at their slide, they use the notion of role in Active Directory. So to manage Active Directory, the authorized user can access certain object in Active Directory. Authorized user means the user who has appropriate role, administrator or network administrator, etc. So they use the role over there. And also the Solaris, they are using role. And especially the Trust OS, the concept in Solaris 8.0, they're using role in their NIS Plus management. NIS is the same as directory server. In NIS, they are collecting all kinds of information, such as user information, group information, and network information, etc. And in order to manage that information, you have to use hierarchical structure in that administrative group. So they are using role in that part. And also IBM, Tivoli, they are using role access control. So there are various systems using the role access control. And what is role access control? Let me give you access control 101. In access control, usually back in 1971, according to the Lanson's idea access matrix model, you have three the conceptual notion. One is subject, another one is object, and you have access rights between subject and object. That is the access matrix model. And the discretion access control, they are using that kind of approach using ACL, access control list. So user can, the object can have the access right list for the users. So user can access the certain objects based on their access privilege. And then also they can give some of access privilege to others based on their intention or their purpose, more like discretionary access control. And military environment, you have the mandatory access control, and this mandatory access control, you have to specify your security clearance, your security level. Then if your security level matched with the security level associated with the object, then you can access. So it's more like a security level-based access control. And role access control, when you look at these two approaches, mandatory access control and discretionary access control, whenever you have some changes, system administrator, you have to look at all the relationship and you have to revoke. So it's a very tedious task, and it's very complicated to manage this kind of, complicated to administer this kind of environment. But if you're using the role, when you look at this slide, all you have to do is you have to just assign certain users to appropriate role. And also when you create the role, you have to give certain privilege to the particular role. Then the system administrator's point of view, he has to just define what kind of role we have to have in our organization or our environment, and what kind of permission has to assign to that particular role. That is the first stage. After that, he has to just assign user to role. Okay? And if the user has to revoke from some relationship with the object, you don't have to touch this permission part. You have to just revoke this user role assignment. That means user doesn't have to worry about their permissions, because their permission can be dynamically changed in your organization. So user doesn't have to worry about it. The previous stage, the access control models, user has to worry about lots of issues related to permissions. Okay, so in role access control, you have the notion of users and roles, and we have some hierarchical structure between the roles, like role hierarchies. Here's just an example. You have employee and doctor and junior doctor. It's a senior to the employee. And we have various doctors here, neurologists through primary care physicians. And also you have consultants. So you have role hierarchies and also permissions. This permission is access privilege assigned to that particular role. And also, in order to support these concepts, you have to have some kind of policy or constraints. We have notion of constraints. So these constraints can govern the entities in this role access control model. So that is the just basic idea of role access control. So that is the main reason why we chose role access control. It's very convenient and easy to administer your environment, and also you can support the collaborative environment. So that is one answer for the first question. And the second question was, then once you have a model, then you have to identify requirements and policies, and you have to specify the policy. So we are trying to provide the authorization language to express the delegation policies, and also to support this delegation model and language, we have to come up with supporting components, right? And then we have to demonstrate whether or not our approach and framework is feasible through some reasonable implementation, some applicable or practical solution. So I will talk about our model, and briefly talk about policy, and I will talk about our system. What is the delegation? We already discussed the delegation several times. So through delegation, you can delegate your privilege. It's obvious definition. But also, like I mentioned before, through delegation, one of the important benefit is you can achieve business continuity. That is a very important issue, especially bank and healthcare and other collaborative environment. Business continuity is very important aspect, because otherwise their business cannot succeed. So only the delegation can support business continuity. That is my point. Then what kind of issues are involved in delegation? There are lots of issues. Permanence and monotonicity or non-monotonic, and totality or the administration, and levels of delegation and multiple delegation, and you may have various delegation forms as well. Maybe I cannot discuss all of them because we have just 20 minutes from now. But